Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining Lewis University's television network. Today is Thursday, February 8th, 2024. I'm Samara Martinez.
And I'm Quinn Haywood.
And we begin with our top national and international stories. Washington, D.C. is preparing for the U.S. Supreme Court to take on the Colorado's 14th Amendment case today. Security fencing was installed Wednesday, as well as other security measures, as people began camping out near the Supreme Court. Justices will hear oral arguments whether or not former President Donald Trump should appear on the 2024 Republican ballot in Colorado. Trump's eligibility on the ballot has been called into question based on the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution that says public officials who have engaged in insurrection are disqualified from ever serving again. Two states, Colorado and Maine, have determined that this ban does apply to Trump. The two states have stripped him from the Republican primary ballot, though those decisions are paused on appeal.
The Michigan mother of the teen who killed 4 students at his high school was found guilty Tuesday on 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. It's a groundbreaking decision that could reshape how the law determines who is responsible for a mass shooting. Prosecutors argued that Jennifer Crumbley is responsible for the deaths because she was grossly negligent in giving a gun to her son, Ethan Crumbley, who was only 15 at the time, and said she failed to act after a school counselor recommended she and her husband take Ethan home from school on the day of the shooting to get immediate mental health treatment. Her defense attorney said the blame for the shooting should fall on other people, including Crumbley's husband for not properly securing the firearm, the school for failing to alert her about her son's behavioral issues, and Ethan himself, who pulled the trigger and was sentenced last year to life in prison without parole.
Monday, Buckingham Palace announced King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer, and he will step back from public-facing duties while undergoing treatment. A royal source says it isn't prostate cancer, but did not elaborate further on the diagnosis. The news comes after the 75-year-old monarch underwent a procedure for an enlarged prostate last month. Prince William, next in line to the throne, will be returning to public duties later this week after supporting his wife's recovery from abdominal surgery. Prince Harry also spoke to his father and is planning a trip to the UK.
Major changes are coming to the SAT this spring. No more sitting at a desk with a pencil in hand. The test will be 100% digital. Students will take the SAT on an app called Blue Book, using personal or school-provided laptops or tablets. The paper and pencil format won't be available except in rare cases. Another big change is what the College Board calls adaptive testing. The math and reading sections will each have 2 parts. A student's performance in the first part of each section will determine how hard the second part is. So, if a student does poorly on the first section, the second section will be easier. The test uses difficulty level to calibrate a person's score. Another big change is that the test will be just over 2 hours long, roughly an hour shorter than before.
Chinese hackers have had some access to some critical U.S. infrastructure systems for at least 5 years, according to a news report by U.S. and allied security agencies. It shows the hackers breaking into much earlier than previously known. Officials believe Chinese agents may be positioning themselves to carry out potentially crippling cyber attacks. Those could include critical infrastructure like transportation, water, and electricity. The hackers have also tapped into security cameras at unnamed, highly secured facilities. As tensions remain high between the U.S. and China, officials are concerned that the hackers could be used to disrupt a U.S. response if China invades Taiwan. The report will be released this week in hopes it will help facilities identify their hackers inside their networks. Up next, we will have your local news.
And later, we will have your entertainment news.
I would, if I could go back and change it all. I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my third child who was 17 at the time. It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Lawyers for Jussie Smollett are asking the Illinois Supreme Court to review an appellate court ruling that affirmed his convictions. The former star of the TV show Empire was found guilty in December 2021 for making false reports to Chicago police. In 2019, he told them he was the victim of a hate crime. In 2022, Smollett was sentenced to 30 months of felony probation, 150 days in jail, and ordered to pay $145,000. An appellate court affirmed the disorderly conduct convictions last year. Smollett's lawyers say politics and public outrage have played into those decisions. They also claim his punishment constitutes double jeopardy because he already performed community service and relinquished his bail bond. Smollett has always maintained his innocence.
A huge economic impact to Chicago is in question. The creation of the Chicago's next great neighborhood is possibly underway. The Chicago White Sox Stadium may be moved from its home in Bridgeport to a more than 60-acre plot of land in Chicago's newest neighborhood known as the 78. The new White Sox Stadium is planned to be placed between Roosevelt Road and 18th Street. The Chicago White Sox are the second professional sports team alongside the Chicago Bears that are scrambling to remain within city limits. Behind this fascinating idea still remains the unanswered question of who pays the bill.
Yesterday marked 1 week since the Lurie Children's Hospital began to operate without phones, email, and electronic recordings due to a cyber attack. However, experts say that the recovery could take up to several weeks, depending on the size and complexity of the network. The outage Lurie Children is experiencing can cost up to hundreds of thousands of dollars per hour. Since there are many different levels of digital exposure in Lurie, the hospital can be expected to be attacked again and is urged to take better precautions to protect themselves. Internal and external cyber experts are working with the FBI to find the source and solution.
An off-duty police officer on the South Side was confronted by an armed gunman at a Shell gas station this past Tuesday on the 1600 block of East 95th Street around 4 a.m. This confrontation turned into a shootout between the armed suspect and the off-duty police officer. No injuries were reported. The suspect did get away. Authorities are still confused as to what this suspect was attempting, a carjack or robbery. Several bullet holes have been recovered on a white SUV that is now a part of the investigation.
An Oak Park doctor has been found guilty of more than $1.2 million in Medicaid fraud. 69-year-old William McMiller was found guilty of theft of government property by deception and vendor fraud. McMiller is the owner of Dr. Bill's Learning Centers, which offers tutoring services to children, clinical therapy, and psychiatric services. The Illinois State Police Medicaid Fraud Control Unit opened an investigation after receiving a referral from the Illinois Department of Healthcare and Family Services office, as they noted that McMiller had an unusual number of service hours billed each day. McMiller will appear in court on February 29th.
When we return, we will have your entertainment news.
And later, we will have your Lewis Sports Update.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
62-year-old country singer Tobin Keith died Monday after a battle with stomach cancer. According to a statement on his website, Keith passed peacefully, surrounded by family. He was diagnosed with cancer in 2022, but still performed at the People's Choice Country Awards last year, where he received the Country's Icon Award. Keith released his debut album in 1993. He is known for hits like Red Solo Cup, I Want to Talk About Me. Keith leaves behind his wife, Trisha, and 3 children.
The Beatles have yet another $1 million seller, but this time it's got nothing to do with music. A painting made by John, Paul, George, and Ringo during their 1966 World Tour was just sold at Christie's in New York for $1.7 million. According to Christie's, the Fab Four were at the Tokyo Hilton where they were presented with a set of art materials. The group placed chairs around a table and worked on the painting between concerts in Japan. The artwork, titled Images of a Woman, took 2 days to complete.
Attorneys for Taylor Swift are threatening to sue a Florida college student who tracks flights of private jets. On Tuesday, Jack Sweeney confirmed he received a cease and desist letter from Swift's attorneys. Sweeney claims he's mercilessly compiling public information using publicly available flight data from the Federal Aviation Administration. He often includes estimates of carbon emissions from each flight on his social media accounts. Recent headlines have scrutinized the singer's carbon footprint. Sweeney said Swift fans are interested in her travels and the singer should be expected her jet will be tracked.
A member of R&B royalty is heading back on the road. Usher announces his Past, Present, Future tour starts August 20th in Washington, D.C., and ends 2 months later with a 2-night stand at Chicago's United Center. Other cities on the tour include Philadelphia, Atlanta, Dallas, and Miami. Pre-sale tickets go on sale Wednesday morning. In addition to this tour, Usher has a lot more to offer. His 9th album, Coming Home, is out Friday, and he's the star of this weekend's Super Bowl halftime show.
Rapper and social activist Killer Mike is out of jail on his own recognition, according to authorities. Mike is charged with 1 misdemeanor count of battery. He was arrested the same night the artist won 3 Grammys. Killer Mike is due back in court February 29th. The information from officials refers to him by his legal name, Michael Render. Up next, we will have your weather.
Then we will have your Lewis Sports Update. Stay with us.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
Kevin, I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
And now for your 7-day forecast. So today, Thursday, we have nothing but clouds, a little bit of sunshine, although some rain may come down tonight with a high of 57 and a low of 44. Going into Friday to begin the weekend, we will have some sunshine with a couple clouds in the sky with a high of 56 and a low of 36. Going into this weekend, Saturday is also looking the same with a high of 41, some nice clouds in the sky, with a lot of sunshine and a little bit of clouds with a low of 29. Going into Super Bowl Sunday, we will get a little chillier with a high of 38, still some sun in the sky with some clouds and a low of 32. Moving into next week, Monday, still chilly with a high of 38, a little bit of sunshine with clouds in the sky, low of 29. Tuesday, same with a little bit of sunshine, a couple clouds in the sky, a little warmer with a high of 42, going to a low of 32. And yet Wednesday, we are getting back to the chillier side with a high of 39, more clouds than the sunshine. And up next, we will have your Lewis Sports Update.
What are you looking for?
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Flyers men's volleyball team, ranked 14th, fell to Ohio State, ranked 6th, yesterday evening in 3 sets. The Flyers began their match on fire with a 4-1 lead with kills from Christian Prayer and Max Rocky and Daniel Haber. The first match was a back-and-forth match, yet Ohio State was able to secure the victory with a kill. The second set began again with kills from Prayer and Rocky, yet Ohio State served back-to-back aces, closing the gap. Flyers had a service error, ending the match with another Ohio State victory. The last match was a tight start between both teams. The Flyers went on a 4-0 run. Ohio State replied with a 4-0 run, winning the whole game. The Flyers are back in action Wednesday, February 14th, hosting Loyola Chicago. It will be a Ray Strong night.
The Flyers women bowling team opened up its NCAA spring semester this past weekend with the win against 3 ranked opponents at Bolero Lakeside. Lewis won 3 Baker games of the 5 played Friday, winning the rounds with scores of 919, 924, and 965. In the following traditional round, the Flyers gained a victory against Central Missouri after a close game, scoring 884 to 877. In Sunday's Baker match, the Flyers faced another close game against Missouri, but lost 3-4.
Sophomore Levy Graham is making some noise here for the Flyers as he was named the GLVC Field Athlete of the Week for his personal best performance at the Lewis Invitational that took place on February 2nd. Graham won the weight throw toss of 19.97 meters. That is the second best throw in Lewis history.
The Lewis University softball team avenged its loss Sunday and defeated Minnesota Mankato 6-2 while falling to Minnesota Duluth 6-0 at the Minnesota Mankato Dome Tournament. Lewis started strong, breaking through in the 3rd inning after scoring 4 times. The Flyers pushed their lead out with Ali Vlansandrak picking up the first win in the first game after what appeared to be a close match. In the second game, Minnesota Duluth broke through in the 6th inning with 3 runs in the frame. The Bulldogs added 3 more in the 7th to make it 6-0. Lewis will be back in action at the Lewis Dome Tournament February 22nd through February 25th as the Flyers take on Minnesota State Moorhead at 3:30 p.m., then Wayne State at 6 p.m.
Do you have no plans for tonight? Head out and watch a basketball doubleheader as the men and women's team take on Truman State. Women tip off at 5:30 p.m. and men tip off at 7:30 p.m. at the Neil Carey Arena. Tune in into LUTN to get a live look at the game. And that is it for today's news. Thank you for watching. As a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis University's television network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and by visiting our YouTube channel. I'm Samara Martinez.
And I'm Quinn Haywood. Have a great night.